Meister. One Bitcoin show. Today is July the 23rd, 2018. Strong hand. Long-term thinking. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. Check out the links below if you want to see yesterday's show or the day before show. Bitcoin. This game is not rigged. Learn what it means. Watch yesterday's show. Remember, I'm speaking in Boise on the 8th, in Hollywood on the 11th, in Philadelphia on the 18th, all of August. Philadelphia, discount code below, cryptocoincon.com. James DeGorcio said, Black Shirt Boy. He gave me $4.99 in the super chat. Thank you, James Del Gercio. Yeah, man, this shirt says Satoshi on it. You can get it at cryptoids.com. There's a link below. You can get a Trezor also at one of my links below. I like storage devices. Okay, so let's talk about, there's a lot to talk about on today's show. We got Ethereum, we got altcoins, we got tokens, horrible things. But let's start with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin experience equals Bitcoin wisdom, crypto wisdom. Today, we are used to generational wisdom not being passed down anymore. People laugh at their grandparents, and their parents don't even bother passing on information to them anymore. And people are just lost. There's so many lost people out there looking for a direction. They get into drugs. They just follow the leader mindlessly. I must go to college. I must do this. I must do that. I must fit in. And unfortunately, that can happen to you in the cryptocurrency space also. Even though this is where the big boys play, there are a lot of lost souls that come here too. 80%ers are all around the place. They'll buy whatever's up, whatever's the talk of the town. ICOs, altcoins, Ponzi schemes, BitConnect, whatever they're going to get into. And you know what? They got to take personal responsibility, because personal responsibility is the new counterculture. They're going to lose, and it's their fault that they didn't seek out wisdom. They didn't seek out experience. And right here, you're getting experience with the Bitcoin Meister and all his band of brothers on the World Crypto Network, and all the people that I have on my Friday show have been around this for a long time. Many of them. I've owned Bitcoin since 2013. But you can't, what's going on is all these newbies make tremendous mistakes. But then you've got newbie channels. You got newbies hosting no, I don't want to go that far. But relatively new people with big shows on television. And yeah, just seek out Bitcoin experience, people. Look for wisdom. There's nothing wrong with seeking out intergenerational wisdom in your life or here in the cryptocurrency world. I mean, I'm always talking with people like Vortex and really smart guys out there who know about technical aspects that I don't know about, and I seek their wisdom. I don't just try to pull something out of my butt and pretend I'm an expert in it or whatever, even though I've been around this for a while. But there's so many newbie type of mistakes out there. So again, Bitcoin experience equals Bitcoin wisdom. And you don't have to lack direction in the Bitcoin world. We're here for you. There are many men out there who want to help you out, who want to teach you. If you don't, because I don't want people making horrible mistakes, sending their Bitcoin to a Bcash address and all the horrible things I've heard of happening to this very day. So pound that like button. But I bring all this experience up because people are asking me about the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF. And will it be approved in August? And I've been through this before. We went through this. When was it? In 2016? It seems so long ago now. But it might not be approved, by the way. You got to be ready for that. You got to have a strong hand. Last time it wasn't approved. And here's a tweet that shows you a screenshot from back then. Breaking, ETF denied. Bitcoin price drops from $1,350 to $980 within hours. And then this person says, I remember like it was yesterday. And you know what? It does seem pretty recent to me too. It was 2016, I guess. No, it wasn't 2016. If it dropped from 1350, it was 2017 then. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember when the heck it was. The point is, I remember when people used to go, I thought it was the end of the world when the Bitcoin price would drop by $100 in a day. I mean, there were like heart attacks galore going on. $200, it would drop $300 in a day. It was the end of the world. It wasn't the end of the world. The ETF did not. The Winklevi didn't get their ETF. It dropped from 1350 to 980. Look where it is now. Now, of course, we value our wealth in Bitcoin, but you gotta. If you lived through this before, you even value your wealth more so in Bitcoin. You understand how silly all that stuff is. Also, if you're a Bitcoiner, if you're a veteran Bitcoiner, your whole concept of time should be different. If you're a strong-handed veteran Bitcoiners, like Albert Einstein tried to once figure out how there was no future or past. It depends how you look at things. Well, I'm not going to get that conceptual for you. And I'm not going to get that genius for you because I'm no Albert Einstein. But for me, when people ask me, do you think the Bitcoin ETF will be approved? For me, it has already been approved. For me, the 2020 halving has already happened. For me, there's all sorts of mainstream stuff going on with Bitcoin because I'm not selling my Bitcoin. Now, all that stuff can happen tomorrow. I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I have that confidence that Bitcoin is that's why you just can't get into Bitcoin and be in debt and be living by living paycheck to paycheck here, where you like have to sell your Bitcoin if something bad happens. No. You got to manage your life a little better than that, dude. Use it as a savings account that you're not going to touch because you know eventually this thing is going to be huge. Bitcoin, we're going to laugh about how we worried about when the Bitcoin ETF was going to get approved or not. There are going to be all sorts of ETFs in the future. For me, it's already, I bought Bitcoin because I knew all these things were going to happen. That's why you buy Bitcoin, because you already know all these things are going to happen. So in effect, these things have already happened. So if it doesn't happen on August 10th, it doesn't matter to you. And it doesn't happen on December 31st. It doesn't happen in 2019. It doesn't matter to you because it's already happened in the future. When that future will be, who cares? You're holding it. You're a holder of last resort. You're not giving it up. You've already experienced the 2020 halving. You bought 2 years ago because you knew there was going to be a 2020 halving. You're buying today because you know there's going to be a 2020 and 2024 halving. So that's what it's been about. A strong hand holder is all about. Now, Charlton sends a $4.99 super chat. He said, thank you to both guys who sent it. Sticking feathers up your butt does not make you a chicken. Ignore the experts and just have a strong hand. And he said experts, quote unquote. And yeah, he's right about that. You can't believe the guys that just popped out of the blue and said, hey man, I'm an expert. I bought some ICO and I made a lot of money, maybe. So, again, I'm not going to, that's a graphic description what the guy put there. Just have a strong hand, people. He's very right. Don't get tricked into going off of your long-term policy of there's going to be a 2020 halving. Bitcoin is the rock. Bitcoin is the one that is being worked upon. That'll have the ETF eventually. So again, also be prepared for the ETF not to be approved and for it to drop down to $6,000 again or something like that. Because again, one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. You didn't get into this because you were concerned about it being $6,000 in August of 2018. You got into it because you knew that in the future, there were going to be these halvings. There was only going to be 21. There was only going to be 21 million of it, and eventually it is going to be worldwide, bigger than the freaking internet. Okay, that's why you got into it, and it's on this day, it's not bigger than the internet. But if you are a strong hand, long-term thinker, in a sense, it already is bigger than the internet. You are in the future. You're there. You're there already, and it's. I know it's it's an interesting concept there. It isn't right in front of your face. You can't touch it, but think of it a little bit. Think of it in your head. All right. Enough existentialism for me. All right. Okay, so I talked about the ETF. Keep everything in perspective, people here. Just a year and a half ago, people were screaming when the price would drop by $100. I mean, value your wealth, and 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. What else do we have here? So yeah, there's a tweet. That tweet is linked. Everything's linked to below that I talk about here today. The Bitcoiner perspective on time. All right, I already explained that. Here, Ethereum. Let's talk about this. If Ethereum is currently running a $40 million Ponzi games, are miners liable as second-degree principals? Okay, what the heck am I talking about there? That's linked to below. There's something out there called Fomo3D. All right, all you gamblers out there. It's some Ponzi contract, totally gambling, built on Ethereum that's growing in momentum. People are buying into it. It's like $13 million of Ethereum has been used on it already. Anyway, it just shows how early on we are in this whole cryptocurrency thing. That the second biggest cryptocurrency on earth is being used for things like this, and people get excited about it. People think this is a legitimate use case, straight up Ponzi schemes like this. So we're going to look back and laugh one day at this also. But for now, 80%ers are going to do what 80%ers are going to do, okay? I can scream to the mountaintops that this thing is worse than freaking BitConnect, okay? It probably is. But some of those BitConnect veterans they're not going to learn. They're buying into this thing right now. Could the miners all of a sudden shut it down? Sure. All sorts of things can happen with Ethereum and this. Are lawsuits going to happen? Sure. This is not Bitcoin here. This is some nonsense that's going on over in the land of Ethereum. So don't participate in it. There's no excuse. Take personal responsibility. Run away if you see the words Fomo3D. And who knows, by now it might have totally blown up. I'm bringing it up because it's in the news. People are talking about it. I linked to 2 descriptions of it below. The guy talking about the lawsuits or whatever he theorizes, and the other guy just explaining what the heck it is. But one positive out of such a disgrace, out of just yet another crypto Ponzi scheme, is that it will call attention. It will make more people aware of cryptocurrency. Some people might get burnt and then might never come back, but some might get into Bitcoin because of it. Or some might hear about it and then be a little worried about it and then find out about Bitcoin. So I always try to make a positive spin on things like this. Be careful, people. There are so many scams out there. There are so many schemes out there. If it looks too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And I can't believe people are they want to gamble. I mean, if you want to be a gambler, you take personal responsibility. You're not going to don't come crying to me at the end wanting a bailout. You should have known what you're getting into. Gambling is gambling. The Taj Mahal and Trump's castle, or I'm thinking about Atlantic City casinos when I was younger. When I was a kid, I don't think they even exist anymore. They didn't bail people out. Oh yeah, Donna. You'd see that Trump name up there. You never think. Anyway, President of the United States is not that much different than being a casino owner these days. What the heck? I mean, you don't put these people on pedestals. So I shouldn't even. Who gives a darn? Pound that like button. Don't get into politics, people. Get into Bitcoin, and don't get into these Ponzi things. Oh God. All right. So speaking about building things on top of Ethereum. Oh God. Well, actually, before we get into that, no, I know Speaking about building things on top of Ethereum, Augur. Augur. It is, people say it's not centralized. It is, because they were two founders of Augur, and they can get sued. And they're probably going to get either sued or blackmailed by the government, because people are building like assassination prediction markets on there. And somebody actually put a prediction market on how soon will Augur be investigated because of because of all of this. How soon will the FBI investigate Augur? I don't know. The lesson of this story is that the guys who made it up, who built up this thing on top of Ethereum, this Augur prediction market, pressure can be put on them. Apparently they have a kill switch in it anyway that could turn it off if it was offensive to the government. And I'm sure assassination markets are offensive to the government. So for all you people who thought Augur was the next Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin yet again. And it's only a matter of time till their founders the pressure is put to them. Remember, can't happen in Bitcoin. There's that centralized point of weakness. Satoshi is dead or doesn't exist, or who knows. Truly anonymous. Pound that like button. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. All right. What else do we have here? Augur, craziness. Yeah, and it's linked to below. You can do your own. And I'm not going to get into it. I don't know why. People used to bring up Augur a lot to me. They thought it was the greatest thing. Yeah, okay. It's come down to assassination markets now. The next, Matt Odell tweets some interesting things about that. I didn't include his tweet. It was another guy. Okay, it's pretty clear that altcoin money is going into Bitcoin lately. The Bitcoin dominance is going up. Bitcoin, and it probably has to do with people thinking that this Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved. So if it doesn't get approved, then everything will crash. But it's all cyclical. And again, when Bitcoin goes to the moon again, the altcoins will follow. And for a brief time, the altcoins will some of them will outperform Bitcoin, and some gamblers will get it right, which altcoins will outperform Bitcoin during that short period of time. They'll value their wealth in Bitcoin, get rid of their altcoins for more Bitcoin. But most people can't do that. Most people can't handle that. Most people are going to lose when they go back and forth between Bitcoin and the altcoin. But I'm just saying, for now, it is apparent that the altcoin money is pouring into Bitcoin now. But it's all cyclical. Stick with the rock. Over the long run, that's what wins. Long-term thinking, don't be impulsive, as I say. What is this finally? Okay, yeah, finally, a Bcash tweet by this real VJ guy. He's predicting that there's going to be a big Bcash sell-off after August the 1st, because that's a year since Bcash was created as a crypto dividend of Bitcoin. And for long-term capital gains purposes, that's when you're going to be able to, it won't be a short-term capital gain on your taxes anymore. It'll be a long-term. All right, dude. I don't think it's going to make that big of a deal. I don't think there are going to be a bunch of people all of a sudden going to start selling then, for a number of reasons. Come on. Do most Americans that are playing around in this space, these 23-year-old kids, they don't care too much. They're driving around their Lambos and buying and selling on Coinbase back and forth. I don't know how many are too concerned about short-term versus long-term capital gains, okay? I don't know how many of those dudes are actually paying their taxes. All the guys that are telling me, you should have sold at $20,000. They have no clue about how much you have to pay in taxes once you go into the world of fiat. And I think the people who do understand that, like me, have no desire to go into the world of fiat for any time soon. Again, we're the ones who talk about the 2020 and 2024 halving. So I don't know how many people are in between that much and are in between those two extremes and are just like, yeah, it's time I sold my Bcash for some fiat. I waited this long, even though it's not worth as much as it has been in the past. I'll sell it now because I want to, it's a long-term capital gains tax instead of short-term capital gains tax. I think some of those people will just wait even longer, and I'll be just like, well, I'll just wait until it's worth even more, and then I'll sell it for cash. and then I'll do my long term, because it's in terms of cash, it's been worth higher. And again, I don't value my B cash in cash. I value my B cash in Bitcoin, of course. I mean, where I think most people just they know eventually it'll be 20% of a Bitcoin again. And again, if it does start to sell off a little bit, maybe just based on this rumor alone, then King of the Trolls and his buddies will buy it up and pump it back up again. Who knows? September, they're having their stress test in September, on September the 1st. I think that'll be bigger than August the 1st, the sell-off on August the 1st. Anyway, I don't give a darn. I don't about the dollar value of that stuff. I mean, it's all about valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm not converting anything to dollars for a very long time. All right, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember, and again, yeah, for you dudes who converted your B cash to cash already, yeah, you got to pay short-term capital gains. That kind of sucks. All right, I'm Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Whatever the heck my name is, pound that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for the super chat again, guys. Everybody, I'll see you in the chat right now. I'll say hi. Bye-bye.